Hello, my friend, and welcome. This is your moment. I'm Katarina Miletic, and you are listening to the podcast that will challenge you to think with your soul and believe that your only power is inside you. Joseph, I am honored to have you as a guest on This Is Your Moment podcast, and so excited about everything you are going to share with our audience. We all appreciate a healthy lifestyle, and learning insights from someone who has dedicated time and effort to the subject, both for personal reasons and guiding people to their optimal health and fitness by a very clever and thoughtful mastermind course.
Thank you.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the time in your life when you discovered you were passionate about health and well-being? And what led you to go deeper into the subject, please?
Yeah. Again, first of all, thank you for inviting me to this podcast. I'm very excited about it. To your question, I don't think there was any specific moment in time where it was like, walking down a beach and I get hit by a rock and it's like, you know what, health and wellness is your passion. Uh, there's actually a great quote, like Steven Spielberg once mentioned it. Like for a lot of people, your dreams, your passions, they don't just like scream at you. It's just like whispers and you just not need to hear it. So it's sort of been like it's been building over time. Um, uh, I, I mean, I've always been inclined towards sports, but like not really towards a healthy and fit lifestyle. And different things. Sometimes I had a crush on a girl and I wanted to impress her. I started working out. I didn't have a religious workout schedule or anything. And, it took me 1 year to ask her out. But that 1 year was all I needed to build a habit out of it. And so it's like, okay, at least the exercise portion of my lifestyle is fixed. She said no, by the way. And she turned out gay after she came out as gay a year later. So it wasn't like I had no chance at all. Something good came out of it. And um, after that, it wasn't alone just that fact, because I was like, I wanted to get big. So I was eating pizza and fries, but I was like, no, I'm working out. So it's like, it should be good. And then my blood pressure reading came, it was like 140/80, 140/90. It's like really high. I'm like, but I'm only like at that point, what, 25 years old? And so I'm like, okay, this health fitness thing is just not exercise, it's like multifaceted. And so I was like, okay, how much salt am I eating? Like, oh, like I have to concentrate on what I eat. And it's become a fascination because I've read about the gut microbiome, where like our body is less than 50% human. It's more gut microbiome, like all of those trillions of cells of bacteria. And then you have, in terms of your gene expression, like all the genes that are expressing, only less than 1% of the genes expressing in your body are human genes. Everything else is your gut microbiome genes. So that's really the foundation of your health. You're in a symbiotic relationship with your gut microbiome. And so it's just like really fascinating, just the way our brains work, like all of this perception of the world. It's like electrical signals and hormones. Uh, and so it was a fascinating field, but it was still like a hobby, something I did as a passion, but nothing more than that. And it's really when I found a course called Knowledge Broker Blueprint. It was an ad in Facebook. It's like Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, Russell Brunson. And it's like, you can turn something you like, even if you're not an expert yet, into a business. And this immediately got my attention. I was like, how do you do it? There was a 2-hour webinar. And then finally the sellers, there's a $2,000 course. I was really scared of taking that course because I was $40,000 in student debt. I'm like, should I take it? Should I not take it? Eventually I took it. It's like a concept of asymmetric risk. So it's like $2,000. If I lose, if it turns out doesn't help, it sucks, but I'm okay with it. Like I won't in the long run, go bad. But if it does go well, it changes my life. I can quit my 9 to 5 job and do something that I care about and help other people. And as I got more in the field, initially I thought I'll partner with some other health coach. And later I decided, no, I want to do it myself. I became a certified health coach, started coaching clients one-on-one, and then now in a group mastermind, which you're part of. And so like it's just gotten better and better. And yeah, I've just enjoyed it.
Excellent. I mean, you're clearly a person who is in tune with many aspects of your being. How do you keep a good balance between them? Is there a connecting point, or do you simply dedicate time to each and every one to keep moving forward in business and in personal growth?
Yeah. Honestly, I haven't thought too much about how I'm dedicating time slots to things. Like I have a lot of different interests. So like one is obviously the health coaching, the business. So that's Joseph, the health coach, Joseph, the entrepreneur. Then you have Joseph, the senior data analyst, which is doing the 9 to 5 job. And then you have Joseph, who enjoys doing parkour and tumbling, like doing backflips and front flips in the park. And then I also love investing, like bullion and stock markets and all of that. So then you have Joseph, the investor. And it's all different aspects. And I do enjoy all of them. I don't know. For me, it just feels like it all flows well together. And I'm a person who enjoys doing a lot of things. Uh, and and it's very hard for me to just focus on one thing. Like I feel like there are some people who like focusing on one thing. I do enjoy 5 things. Now sometimes it gets hard and I try to focus on 10 things, but I realize I can't focus on 10. Like it has to be 5. So I've like just found my own limit just through like pushing my boundaries and see like, okay, now I'm crashing. Let's reel it back in and like maybe 5. uh, and I'm a, and just the fact that you have a healthy lifestyle, it just helps you have a lot of energy that can help, which propagates through all of those different fields.
Excellent. How does one work day look for you in the present moment? The reason I'm asking this is because you seem to be managing a lot of things and some of those passions you have mentioned just now, but you manage them at a high level of performance. So I happen to know that you're holding a full-time job, which you mentioned as well in this interview, in addition to developing your mastermind course. Keeping up with personalized attention and progress for all of your students, creating great course content, and working on a self-development, and all of these things simultaneously. You can share as many details as you wish with us, and I'm sure audience will be fascinating to hear, as will I.
Yeah, a typical work day, it's pretty busy, honestly. Uh, get up 7:45. Then my work starts, I think 9:30 to 5:30. That's my work time for the company. So I work at Gap Inc. as a senior analyst in their customer data analytics field. So I help them with the business, looking at the data. So there's that phase. And even in that, during the afternoon time, I spend a little bit of time just seeing what's happening in the markets and looking at trends, economics, companies that I follow. So there's like a 30-minute slot which I keep there. After 5:30 to 6:30 or 7, I work out. Uh, so either it's like I actually do like virtual boot camp with another trainer. So even if I'm a coach, I make sure like I'm held accountable with another trainer. And sometimes it's like me going out in a park doing flips and handstands and round offs and anything that gets my attention in the moment. After what time? 6:30 or 7, that's the time for me that I need to like take a break. So like I meditate or and then take a walk and just like relax, just make sure I have a bit of a breathing space, and then I have my dinner. And then from 9 p.m. till 12 p.m. midnight, that's when I like work on my business or like making sure what are my clients doing or my prospects doing. taking interest in their life, preparing for, like, say, the Sunday session, making sure, like, everything's progressing as planned. If questions come, I address every single one of them. So yeah, it's a pretty busy one. And for me, that time between, like, part one of my day and part two of my day, like, I do understand the part two of my day is going to be, like, probably the most tiring one, because it's literally after finishing an entire workload. And that's why, like, middle step of working out, meditating, taking a walk, just sitting on a bench looking at the lake or something, it's really needed for me to recharge and then go. Honestly, the second part of my day doesn't feel that bad. Like, it's the part which doesn't stress me out. It's the first part of the day which stresses me out a bit.
I'm sure you balance it out though with the second part being enjoying what you are doing. I
Yeah.
was wondering what inspires you the most when it comes to working with people to improve their mindset and develop consistent healthy habits.
Yeah. Changing habits is hard work. I mean, changing habits for yourself is very hard work. Changing habits for someone else is even harder work. Uh, so it's almost like an engineering challenge, in a way, because it's a little bit of it is science, and a lot of it is art. It's very personalized to people.
Mhm.
People, you just give the information and they'll run with it. Some people, you need to be a bit more firm, and and they like that, like, they need that to be held accountable. And sometimes you need, uh, like like you can't ever influence someone just by saying, this is what you do, and then they'll just go ahead and do it. Like, that's not how it works. Even if that client pays you money to tell them exactly what to do, you need to earn their trust. You need to show them the information, and the decision almost has to come from them rather than you.
Mhm.
Sort of like a guide or teacher. And so, figuring out how to do that and actually influencing change in someone else's life, and, you know like, for example, if you say exercise 30 minutes a day, on after that day, there's not much difference in you, the person who exercised, versus you, the person who didn't exercise. But you do that for, like, 1 month, a year, 2 years, 5 years, and then you compare the difference between person A and person B, even though same genes, same everything. That's a massive difference. Same thing goes for meditation. Same thing goes for, instead of a sitting desk, you have a standing desk over a 20-year time frame. That's a big impact, and that influences other aspects of your life, because your health influences your energy, and your energy influences everything you do, from relationships, your business, your life, the quality of your life. And so, being able to influence that energy in the long run is something that's very inspiring.
That is an excellent insight, and I can see how passionate you are as a teacher, and I know this firsthand, obviously.
Yeah.
Would you share with us what is your own favorite healthy habit? What is the thing where you can feel yourself surrender to the alignment with the universe, which you so fondly speak of? I guess I'm trying to ask which activity or activities fill your heart with joy the most.
Yeah, for me, I don't know why, but almost every activity, like, my favorite activity, has some relationship with fear in some sense. So, doing parkour and tumbling, like a front flip, a back flip, at the point where you decide you're going to get off the floor and do it, you have to be in 100% commitment. You can't be 90% committed at that point. uh, and there's a fear, and there's a way of a progress of learning, failing, and, like, in a coaching center where they teach you how to do it, like, first you're doing onto a foam pit, so even if you fall on your neck, you're good, like, that's completely fine. And then it's like, can you jump onto a bed from a height so that you have that extra height? And then it's like, okay, can you jump and do a flip onto a mat? With each time, they're removing one layer of security, and the first time you do it, it's always a little bit scary. leap of faith, because you're trusting that your body will do the same thing as if you're landing on a bed. And I think, one, it's fun, it's a great workout, but it's also like just consistently training you on how you're dealing with fear. And my mastermind is generally, if you see, everyone in our mastermind are entrepreneurs. And I think every successful entrepreneur has a good relationship with how they deal with fear and failure. And parkour is just, in a physical way, it's a very similar thing. You have a relationship with fear and failure. And it's a very enjoyable feeling, especially like the first time you land a backflip in your life. Like you could see it in their eyes, whether it's my eyes or like someone else's eyes. You could like see it in their eyes. This unspoken joy that you see, which is undescribable. So it's moments like that that you sometimes fight for. You don't get it every day, but when you get it, it's really special.
It's absolutely amazing. I mean, I love hearing that, and the analogy to life as well, how that translates further into life and into everything you do is just fascinating.
Yeah,
Um,
even in entrepreneurship, I'm sure like the way, like your business, like the first paid client you got, like that was a milestone. The first testimonial you got, that's a milestone. The first time you feel like, oh, I can have my entire income through this, like this is working. Like you feel like you have a successful business model and everything. Like the first time you feel it, like those are all big milestones along the way. And to have some healthy habit or routine that sort of correlates with that, it's a pretty cool thing.
Absolutely, definitely. And I love also that part where you said that you have to take that first step in faith. I think that's a key to many, many things in life. Um,
Yeah.
I am curious, what does healthy look like for you? And I'm looking here for the holistic answer.
Hmm.
So we all know the benefits of healthy eating and regular exercise on our general well-being. It's
Yeah.
safe to say that even when we don't practice them, we are aware of their benefits. But what can you tell us about the role of sleep, stress levels, positive outlook, and mindful self care practices? I mean, you mentioned some of them already for our overall health.
Yeah. I think just being healthy, what it feels like is you having the energy to do what you want in life. Just in terms of relationships, in terms of quality of life, your business, you need energy to do all of those things. And even if you think of like Albert Einstein's equation, E equal to mc square, like what is it basically saying? Like just from energy, you're creating matter. Whether you're religious or scientific, like the Big Bang, it's like from nothing, something is created. And even in your body, you have all this energy, your thoughts, you're like a vision of how you want your life to go. You need that energy to put that vision into practice and get the results for it. So anything that helps you get that energy, uh, that's what for me really being healthy is. And even if you want to look at it from a cellular level, like the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of each cell in your body, how do you optimize the health of each cell in your body? For me, that's health. And you're right, like nutrition and exercise is what generally people think of in terms of health. Like if you get these two things, you're good. But it really is just two pillars out of maybe six pillars in your health. Like there's so many aspects of your health that are not addressed. I think Liz Josenberg of Target 100, like she put like, for example, if someone wants to lose weight, everyone focuses on one or two things, but it's actually six things. It's, it's nutrition, big part. What you eat is what you become. It's exercise. She also puts movement separate from exercise. A lot of people think movement is exercise. She's considering both as different things. Like
Mhm.
you can exercise 60 minutes a day, and then the remaining 23 hours you're just sitting in front of a laptop working or sleeping. uh, that doesn't mean that you're a really fit body. You still need to move a lot. Like you ideally want 10,000 steps minimum along with your exercise of 30 to 60 minutes. So that is crucial. Like that helps the blood flow in your body. And we know if the blood is too stagnant, the cells stick together. And if it sticks together, they tend to mutate. And the mutate, there could be cancer and inflammation and blood. Like there's so many things. So that's one. Then there is stress. Uh, Almost everyone is stressed in the modern world. Stress causes inflammation, and inflammation is the root cause of most chronic diseases, ranging from like diabetes, Alzheimer's, different cancers. It's just a range of issues. Uh, and I feel like everyone needs to find their own personalized plan for stress management. For me, it's like I have a very busy schedule on a work day. And initially, the first thing, I would have an alarm on my phone. I would get up to that. And as soon as I get up, I'm already scrolling through my emails and phone. Is the worst habit that you could possibly do. I never thought I was addicted to my phone until I tried breaking that addiction, like breaking that habit. And it's like, oh my God, I'm really, really addicted to my phone. So then I had to like make a not to do list, like how Dean Graziosi says. It's like, okay, first hour, no matter what happens, I'm not looking at my phone. Then I got into a bad habit of like looking at how the stock market is going up, is going down throughout my workday while I'm working. And that was like, okay, that's unhealthy. I got to put more discipline into that. Like how I want to make sure I'm not multitasking. I want to make sure I'm not responding to my clients when I work 9 to 5. Like I keep slots, because otherwise I'm going to get comments and emails all day long and it's going to stress me out. So like figure out a personalized plan for your stress um, management. And then you have sleep, which is the best detox that your body does, and it's free. So why not utilize it? And the sixth one, which is very underappreciated, is your hydration. A lot of people, more than 50%, I think it's like 75% according to one survey, but like let's say 50%, to be conservative, are dehydrated. And this also plays a big role in your health. It slows down your metabolism because there's no blood in your body to supply the nutrients. So the way your body works is like, okay, there's not much water, so let's really slow down everything that's happening in your body. And that makes you slow down in energy metabolism. And it also makes you crave food. In olden times, it made you crave like juicy fruits and vegetables. Now you're just craving sugary, salty snacks. So it's in every possible way, it's bad. So you have these 6 pillars. You got to work on all of them to
That's
get energy, which is the
yes.
end.
Absolutely brilliant answer. I mean, it's so much insight there. Thank you so much for sharing that. Um, that leads me to my next question. Could you isolate 3 specific health goals that everyone should have in 2020? What are the most important things to help us thrive? I know
Yeah.
the year has been challenging for many people. How do we end this well?
Yeah, it's challenging because health is such a multifaceted thing. But like, if I were to like pick 3 things, one is so many people, like you need an inspiring vision that helps you move forward. Like, what does the next 5 years look like for you? A lot of people, if I look at the people who did well in the pandemic, and I'm not talking about the people who lost their jobs and loved ones and things like that, that is much harder to deal with, and there's more things that need to. But like for a normal person who still kept their job, um, and it applies to everyone, I think you need an inspiring vision. Like, what are you working towards in the next 5 years? The people who did well were people who had something to work towards, and the people who didn't do well were people uh, who were just stuck in a way. Uh, there are a lot of people in their 20s, they are sad each year they get older. I'm in that age group. Uh, and it's because they feel like the best part of their life is behind them and not ahead of them. And like I'm excited about my 30s because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna quit my 9 to 5 job forever. I'm going to be fully in this business. I'm going to travel to all the 7 continents. I'm going to scuba dive and like with a whale shark or humpback whale. And like I have all these things which I have like in my mind, which I'm like doing now and like continue to do in the future. And like that sort of makes me excited. I think like honestly, internally, I feel like 30s would be the best decade of my life. And I feel like people need that inspiring vision to help them move forward. That's one. The second thing is I think everyone needs a personalized plan for their how do they manage stress
Mhm.
uh, based on their environment. If it's like less of watching news, if it's making sure the first hour of your day you do not um, look at your phone, if it is making sure okay all emails or notifications I'll only respond within these time slots. um, Everyone needs to figure out their own personalized way to do it. It's very important. And the third one I would say based on all the advances in science and technology, it is getting more and more clear that your gut microbiome plays a very crucial role in your health. Honestly, I would, if you have the money, advise people to take a gut microbiome test to see what your body is doing. And of all the companies, I would recommend Viome. I'm not any ambassador, I'm not an affiliate with them. They don't even have that program. But their technology, at least in, I believe it's far superior to everyone else because everyone sees the DNA of the gut microbiome. So it's like which bacteria is there? But that's the only company I know that actually looks at the RNA of the bacteria, like which bacteria are there and what exactly are they doing right now in your body. No other uh, company does that. And they actually got it from Los Alamos Laboratory. It's the lab which built the nuclear bomb. So it's a very advanced lab. They licensed the technology. So I would like test your gut microbiome and take recommendations because some foods that you're eating might be bad for you, like spinach. And for other people, spinach might be the best thing that their body can have. And so just having that understanding, this food's good, this food's bad for you, like really personalized to your gut microbiome. Um, yeah, I mean, like we both share 99% of our DNA, like it's pretty similar, but less than 1% of our gut microbiome is similar. So what's good for you might not be good for me, and vice versa. So those would be the three main things. The honorable mentions would be small wins would be like a standing desk,
Mm.
really helps, and drink more water.
Mm.
But yeah,
Excellent
would be
point.
the three.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't stick to three, yes, but those are all really, really great. And the more we become conscious of these things, the better, I think, in the long run for our health. Joseph, what would be the best way for people who are watching right now to connect with you? I want to make sure that I link in description everything that you mention here. It's always nice for people who find this message resonant to actually connect directly.
My email address would be joseph.pappachan92@gmail.com. And I can like just put in the chat box and send the actual spelling.
Yeah, don't worry. I will link that in the description of the podcast because I do have your contact details. I
Okay.
just
Yes.
wondered what was the best way for people to contact you directly. So I will pass
Yeah.
that information on.
Yeah.
And I have one more question. And I don't know if you know what this means. It has become a tradition of mine to ask an unexpected, one of those out there questions of my guest. So to end this interview, firstly, must say that I am sad that the interview is coming to an end because I could literally go on talking to you for hours and just listening to your insights. And I am sure that you will grace us with your presence really soon. So here comes your question. What would your life look like if things turned out even better than you had imagined? Take us to your biggest dream.
Well, I mean, right now my biggest dream, I mean, the biggest dream is what cascaded all of this action. Like, I'm going to move to Canada because I can't start a business in the US. I'm going to actually start a business. Like, I've never thought I would want to be an entrepreneur and all of these sort of things. So, number one on my priority list is like, getting my business to a point where I can actually quit my 9 to 5 job. Uh, Honestly, I think Simon Sinek said that the things which you don't want to do, if you do a lot of it, that's the one that stresses you out. And what you want to do, that even if you work 80 hours a week, that's not stressing you out. That's just you enjoying yourself. So that's a big one. I do want to travel to the 7 continents of the world, including Antarctica. I want to go to Poland. There's a Wim Hof winter expedition. So Wim Hof is a person who has 27 Guinness World Records. He's climbed Mount Everest in his shorts, like no t-shirt, nothing. He's otherwise known as the Iceman. So like train under him, and they have this expedition where you climb the tallest mountain in Czech Republic and you do the same thing. So like just really be connected with your body and see like your body has that energy within. There's a crazy dream that I want to travel to the moon, but that's not dependent on me as well. Like it's dependent on like companies like SpaceX and mainly SpaceX. But uh, so yeah, like I think Naveen Jain said, like think of moon as the eighth continent of the world, and I do think as technology progresses, it's going to be possible. Oh, fall in love, get married. Uh, yeah, a lot of things, like a lot of travel, be in love, uh, have my own business, no 9 to 5 job anymore. uh, yeah, scuba diving with whales, whale sharks, humpback whales, that's another thing I want to do. uh, yeah, there's just so many things to do. Like, I wish I have the time to do all of it before my time comes to an end on this planet.
I'm sure we're far away from that point, and I mean, you're certainly not short on dreams, and I know that you will make most of them come true with the attitude like yours, which is great, and just awareness and presence in life. I think you're going places. Uh,
Honestly, I don't tell my dreams to anyone. I just like write it down, and because like they'll all think I'm crazy, but like internally I'm like, this is the plan. It's like plan 2021. So by 2025 or 30, I'm like, I can do it. I think I can do it.
I think you're definitely on your way to achieving most of them, if not all of them. I think even the moon one is not unattainable. If you start practicing each night, and just imagine you're there. So,
Yeah, I mean, from my part, all I can do is like get them, like make sure I have enough of an income to sustain it. But then remaining is SpaceX. But I'm a huge technology enthusiast, so like I know like this the engine power. This like, oh, they're using stainless steel here. These are the alloys they're using. It's like they're making phenomenal progress, more than people think they are doing. So
yeah, they definitely
yeah,
are. And just I think just that belief, when you don't restrict yourself to think that anything is impossible, then indeed you will find that you can make anything happen. And I do believe that by design we can absolutely make any dream that we have happen. It doesn't matter how much out there is, I'm
yeah.
living proof that dreams come true. So
Yeah, and I think like that the I think it's Tom Billio, but like someone like made this quote, like when you're trying to like achieve this or trying to do this impossible thing, the only thing guaranteed is the struggle. Success is not guaranteed. Uh, and I was like, but do you still want to do it? I'm like, I kind of still want to do it. And I think that's what's more important. Like, have that inspiring vision that moves you forward. Like, I don't know if I'll achieve all of it. I personally will, but even if I don't, it's something very inspiring that makes me work towards. And I do know that, every night I sleep, I'm sleeping very relaxed and comfortably, knowing that I'm working towards something great.
yeah.
It was not always the case. Before I was like, I don't know. I feel like I'm not doing anything to my potential. Like now I'm like, I'm just trying my best. Who knows what my best is? We'll see.
Excellent. That is the, as I said, that is the attitude to have. And I think I absolutely believe that anything is possible. And you define success, you define what your dream is, and you don't get those dreams by chance. They are there because you can make them come true. So
Yeah.
thank you once again for coming on to this podcast, and I do hope we see you soon. Take care.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.